February 11th, 2025 Corrections Policy Committee. We will start with introductions, and I will start to my left.
Jennifer Cameron, representing non-management parole and probation.
Mark Warren, public member.
Margo Bowden, non-management corrections.
Lori Frasco, Department of Corrections, AFSCME.
Mike Hartford with the Oregon Association of Community Corrections Directors.
Aaron Rice, Department of Corrections, Two Rivers Correctional Institution.
All right, now we can switch to online introductions. We'll start with designee Stephen Bryan.
Brian Steffen, representative of Mr. Reese from the Oregon Department of Corrections.
Nick Hunter.
Nick Hunter, representing the OSSA.
Josh Aldridge.
Josh Aldridge, representing Jail Command Council.
And John Tabor.
John Tabor, Professional Development Unit Administrator, Department of Corrections.
And now for staff introductions, I'll go first. Juan Lopez, Executive Assistant, DPSST.
Erica Dell, Criminal Justice Support Specialist, DPSST.
Jennifer Lavario, Professional Standards Compliance Coordinator.
Kathy Fink, DPSST.
Catherine Kalpine, DPSST.
Matt English, Hood County Sheriff, Oregon State Sheriff's Association.
Joseph Staub, DPSST.
Julie Collinson, DPSST.
Sam Kenny, DPSST.
Mike Brown, Yamaha County. Sam Elliott, Yamaha County Sheriff.
Jennifer
Cindy Park, DPSST.
And just in time. Member Mays, we're actually doing introductions. Would you like to go ahead?
Hello, Michael Mays, Correctional Officer, Eastern Oregon Correctional Institution out of Pendleton.
Thank you. Okay, did everybody have a chance to look over minutes from our last meeting, November 12th, 2024? Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you, Kathy.
I'm here for you.
Let me read the administrative announcement first. This is a public meeting subject to public meeting law, and it will be recorded. Deliberation of issues will only be conducted by Corrections Policy Committee members unless permitted by the chair. Individuals who engage in disruptive behavior that impedes official business will be asked to stop being disruptive or leave the meeting. Additional measures may be taken to have disruptive individuals removed if their continued presence poses a safety risk to the other persons in the room or makes it impossible to continue the meeting. So we'll go back to the minutes. Is there any issues with them, any modifications? If there aren't any, be looking for consensus to adopt those. Not seeing any objections, so there's consensus to approve. All right, we will move into administrative closures. And Jennifer, are you doing those?
I am.
All right, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Chair English. Good morning, members of the committee. Jennifer Lavario for the record. The department has presented one administrative closure today for the consent agenda. Department may recommend administrative closure of discretionary professional standards cases to a policy committee when the department determines that the conduct being reviewed does not meet the statutory and administrative rule requirements for denial or revocation. Chair English.
Thanks. So in our books, we had one proposed administrative closure. Are there any questions or discussion regarding that case? Hearing none, I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Mark Warren, for the record, I'll move approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
All right, we're voting on a motion to approve the administrative closure consent agenda items. Chair English.
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron.
Aye.
Committee Member Aldridge.
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne.
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden.
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco.
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford.
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Mays,
Aye.
Committee Member Steffen,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, we will move to, let's move to our first case, Randall Broom, and I believe he is here.
Chair English, may I make an announcement first about the cases being presented today?
Sure.
Just a simple announcement. Jennifer Lavario for the record. Just so the committee knows, the department prepared 4 additional cases for your review today. 3 of those cases stipulated, in other words, surrendered their certifications when we sent their mitigation. 1 of those cases was granted an extension until May. So what you see today is just part of the full equation of what we propose to bring to you today. So a little bit of a break.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, Mr. Broom, you'll be given 5 minutes to give the committee your mitigation statement. And then after 5 minutes, there will be no questions or answers, but you're free to stay in the room.
Okay.
All right, so anytime you're ready. Yeah. Do you want to do the case introduction first?
Please.
Okay.
I may. Thank you, Chair English. Jennifer Lavario for the record. The case before you today is that of Randall Broom. What I would like to tell you, first of all, members of the committee, is the report in front of you suggests that the ineligibility start date was based on a separation date. Since the committee received the report, Mr. Broom was rehired by the Lane County Sheriff's Office. So that changes the ineligibility start date to the date of the board's review in the event there's action taken. Just wanted to make sure that correction was on the table before we begin. The department opened a professional standards review after being informed that Randall Broom was terminated from the Lane County Sheriff's Office as a result of 2 internal investigations for sustained allegations related to excessive use of force. Mr. Broom was found to have inflicted excessive force in the manner of physical blows to the head of 2 separate AICs, adults in custody, on 2 separate occasions while on duty. The Lane County Sheriff's Office found the force was not objectively reasonable to bring each incident under control, therefore excessive. The department's review of these investigations determined that Mr. Broom violated the board's moral fitness standards as follows. Misconduct. Mr. Broom inflicted physical blows to the head of 2 adults in custody on 2 separate occasions while on duty that, in light of the totality of the circumstances, was not objectively reasonable to bring the incidents under control, therefore threatening or causing unnecessary harm to them. Mr. Broom's conduct harmed the efficient operations of the Lane County Sheriff's Office by threatening liability to the agency for striking a handcuffed, restrained adult in custody who suffered from mental illness. Mr. Broom, are you prepared to start your mitigation?
Yes.
Okay. When you're ready.
Okay. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate you allowing me to speak. I get a little nervous when speaking in front of people, so I drafted a short statement. This has been a trying experience. I was involved in 2 separate use of force incidents. In one incident, I attempted to retrieve laundry from an in-custody female's cell. She tried to strike me in the face with her fist. I attempted to gain control, but she was adamantly trying to overpower me. At one point, she pinned my arm underneath her, and quoting the deputy who was with me at the time, she attempted to take a big old bite out of my arm. I used the force I thought was necessary at the time to gain control and prevent further injury to myself, the deputy with me, and her as well. I was terminated and was charged criminally with harassment. I went to trial and was acquitted. In the other incident, other deputies and I attempted to remove an in-custody female from her cell. I was trying to control her head while she was attempting to spit on me. I attempted to place a spit hood over her head and she bit me. I used the force I thought was necessary at the time to minimize potential injury for everyone involved. I was not charged with a crime for this incident. Since then, I've been hired back as a deputy for the Lane County Sheriff's Office and have completed many hours of training. I have completed defensive tactics training with a more substantial focus on control to minimize or eliminate the potential for injury to the other party. I have received significant instruction on de-escalation to avoid using force entirely. I have also reviewed the standards the state of Oregon sets and my department's policies. I have had a long time to reflect on these incidents. I regret that these incidents ever occurred. I would never want to intentionally put myself in a situation where another person might get hurt. I understand that de-escalation and protecting others should always be the priority. Everyone is of equal value, and my goal is to ensure the safety of others and the community. I understand the liability of using force not only for myself, but for my department as a whole. Use of force situations can reflect poorly on the agency, and public trust is paramount. I have had lengthy conversations with command staff at the Lane County Sheriff's Office to gain perspective and insight on how to improve. The Lane County Sheriff's Office has set a high standard for handling situations. I can adapt and ensure that I will perform at the level that is expected of me. I understand I could have dealt with these incidents differently. I have contacted Lane County training instructors to learn more about diffusing situations and am committed to implementing these tactics in the future. I am capable of learning from situations to improve and become a better deputy. If given the opportunity, I plan on implementing what I have learned to reduce the potential that I might have to use force in the future. No one wins in a use of force situation, and I never enter any situation intending to use force or harm anyone. I believe in treating all people with respect and dignity. I place great importance on being virtuous. I want to continue to protect the community by abiding by the virtues of prudence and temperance as the justice system requires. Being a law enforcement officer has been my dream since I was young. I have been honored to serve as a Lane County Sheriff's Deputy. I would appreciate the opportunity to show that I can improve and continue to serve the community to the best of my abilities. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. So does the, after review of this case, does the committee believe that we have enough information to move forward on this? Seeing consensus, is there consensus to adopt the staff report as presented?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd open up the case for discussion. Please remember to state your name for the record and identify any aggravating or mitigating factors in this case.
John Tabor for the record. Aggravating factor was that there was an indication in both incidents cited that there was an appearance that the deputy was kind of not in control of himself at the time. There were statements made, language used that indicated that the issue extended beyond just a simple use of force decision and was emotionally driven.
Brian Steffen for the record, mitigating factor. He was acquitted of criminal charges. And also another mitigating factor, the county hired him back.
Mario Bowden for mitigating factor. He has also taken the time and using his ability to gain knowledge and looking at different approaches to the time he's been rehired. So.
Hey, Connor, for the record, mitigating factor, there is a report that's contained in the back submitted by John Black. Not to get into it in depth on this record, but there is a human performance piece to this. It's not just simply the actions that are taking place. And so I think that report, although it was originally submitted, I believe, for the trial, is a mitigating factor when we consider the human performance elements that were brought into this.
Matt English for the record, mitigating. There are multiple letters submitted on Deputy Broom's behalf from coworkers and former coworkers supporting him. Other aggravating or mitigating? Jennifer, would you go over what we have thus far, please?
Well, Jennifer Lavario for the record. For aggravating, I have that in both cases, the appearance by the deputy was, Mr. Broom, was that he was not in control of himself. In other words, this was beyond a use of force issue, but perhaps an emotional issue as well. For mitigating, I have he was acquitted of the crime he was charged with. The county hired him back. Since he's been hired back, he's taken the time to gain knowledge of different approaches to use of force and defensive tactics. There's a report by John Black in the packet that was received by the committee that discusses human performance as mitigating and not just the actions taken. And there are multiple letters in the mitigation on Brian's behalf.
Thank you. Is there a consensus around that?
Brian, I'm sorry. Yeah, correct that?
Yes.
On Randall's behalf, pardon me.
Yes.
Any additional aggravating or mitigating? So I would move on to open discussion about whether there are moral fitness violations in this case. Our options to choose from are to accept as is, which is there is an allegation of misconduct, or we can modify it, make changes, or negate, remove all of the allegations.
Mr. Chair, Aaron Rice for the record, I move that we adopt as is.
Hey, kind of for the record, I would second that we adopt as is. There was an internal investigation completed by the Lane County Sheriff's Office where they did in fact sustain these violations outside of what took place in the criminal trial. So I think the record as is stands as the way it was written.
Okay, so there, thank you. There's a motion and a second to affirm the moral fitness violation as presented.
Voting on a motion to affirm the moral fitness violations as presented, Chair English.
Aye.
Vice Chair Campbell. Committee Member Aldrich.
Aye.
Committee Member Boren.
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden.
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco.
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford.
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Mays,
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Floor is now open to entertain a motion to recommend to the board that they either take action or no action in this case, and please state on the record why.
Mr. Chair, Aaron Reyes for the record. I move that we take no action, as though even though the incident did occur and criminal charges did pend, the deputy was acquitted. He's also been hired back by the agency and has taken substantial training to better himself, his conduct, and his behavior as a deputy.
Mike Hartford for the record, I second.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion and a second to recommend to the board no action in this case.
All right, voting on a motion to take no action. Chair English,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron,
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich,
Aye.
Committee Member Boren,
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden,
Aye.
Committee Member Vasco,
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford,
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Mays,
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor,
We also have John Ross.
Aye.
and Committee Member Frost.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We don't have Christine present here.
We didn't
Oh, yeah. Juan, do you see Christine waiting?
No. Is it under Mike Brown? Oh, it might be under Mike Brown.
It'd be probably under Mike Brown.
No, there's no one online.
Okay, we'll give him a minute. We'll just move to, let's move to Rafael Munoz. I will turn it over to him.
Thank you, Chair English. Jennifer Lavario for the record. This is the case involving Rafael Munoz. The DPSST opened a professional standards review after Rafael Munoz reported to DPSST that he had been arrested on April 19th of 2022 for reckless driving and driving under the influence of intoxicants in Albany, Oregon. Mr. Munoz was granted a diverted sentence for his DUI. However, on January 4th of 2023, the diversion was terminated due to a second arrest on September 24th of 2022 for DUI, unlawful possession of a firearm, criminal driving while suspended or revoked, and refusal to take a test for intoxicants. Mr. Munoz entered a plea of guilty to all but the criminal driving while suspended or revoked, which was dismissed on January 4th, 2023. On April 14th, 2023, Mr. Munoz was terminated from the Oregon Department of Corrections Coffee Creek Correctional Facility due to his violations of criminal law. The department's review determined that Mr. Munoz violated the board's moral fitness standards as follows. Mr. Munoz violated criminal law, misconduct. Mr. Munoz threatened harm to persons and property when he decided to drive under the influence of intoxicants on 2 separate occasions. Mr. Munoz threatened harm to all law enforcement agencies by exhibiting a pattern of conduct that disregarded the law and the integrity of the profession. Mr. Munoz's conduct also harmed the public's trust. Chair English.
Thank you. So after reviewing the case as a committee, believe there's enough information to move forward, and is there consensus to adopt the staff report?
Yes.
Okay. Hearing no objections and seeing there is affirmative consensus, open the case up now for discussion and identification of any aggravating and mitigating factors.
Dick Hunter for the record. Aggravating factor. There's a pattern of behavior. Two separate incidents occurred, both having sort of the same similar circumstances brought into play.
Matt English for the record. In addition to the alcohol, there was hard drugs involved in this case, and in both instances, firearms.
Dick Hunter for the record. Aggravating. There is the behavior while in custody during the second arrest at Albany PD, making threats to law enforcement. Alcohol is not a per se defense, so I think it needs to be reflected on the record, the attitude displayed by Mr. Munoz during his arrest and contact with law enforcement.
Matt English for the record. Aggravating. I would also amend Sheriff Hunter's statement that he displayed some of that behavior during the first arrest as well, kicking the cell and being belligerent with staff. And I would submit that it is a violation of the Criminal Justice Code of Ethics for his behavior. Other aggravating or mitigating?
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter for the record. Aggravating factor, refusal to participate in the breath alcohol test in both cases, admitting that he was under the influence, and he used different words than I will use, but was clearly intoxicated. Again, challenging the process, requiring trips to the hospital both times, writing of warrants both times, really a misuse of law enforcement resources.
Brian Steffen for the record. There was property damage, and I could use a little help. I was trying to find, other than his vehicle, what it was that he ran into, but I see the property damage on his vehicle.
Concrete barrier in the middle of the road.
Thank you.
Matt English for the record. Mitigating in I think it was Munoz's second report, self-report to DPSST. He reported that he was engaging in treatment and essentially acknowledged how out of control his behavior had been. Any other aggravating or mitigating? And Jennifer, would you recall what we have, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Jennifer Lavario for the record. For aggravating, I have, this is a pattern of, in two separate issues with similar circumstances. There was not only alcohol involved, but illicit drugs and firearms in both situations. That his behavior in the first and second incident while in custody was violated the code of ethics, the criminal justice code of ethics, and threatened law enforcement. There was property damage involved to his vehicle and a concrete barrier. There was a misuse of law enforcement resources when he refused to take breath tests in both cases and challenged the process, had to go to the hospital both times because he refused to blow. For mitigating, I have in his second self-report to the department, he reported that he was engaging in treatment and acknowledged that his behavior was out of control.
Thank you. Is there consensus that everything identified was captured? Perfect. So I would open the floor for a discussion and a motion to either affirm, modify, or negate the moral fitness violations as presented.
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter, for the record, I would make a motion that we adopt the record as presented.
Jennifer Cameron, I'll second.
Thank you.
All right, we are voting on a motion to affirm the moral fitness violations as presented. Chair English.
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron.
Aye.
Member Aldrich.
Aye.
Committee Member Boren.
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden.
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco.
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford.
Aye.
Committee Member Frost.
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter.
Aye.
Committee Member Mays.
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan.
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes.
Aye.
And Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Floor is now open for a motion to recommend to the board whether they take action or no action in this case.
We don't have to recommend how
No, not yet. Yeah.
Jennifer Cameron, I recommend that we take action based on this individual's ongoing behavior, shows a pattern, criminal convictions, and really all the aggravating factors that were listed.
Mr. Chair, Aaron Rice for the record, I second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There's a motion on the table to recommend action in this case.
We are voting on a motion to take action. Chair English.
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron.
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich.
Aye.
Committee Member Boren.
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden.
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco.
Aye.
Committee Member Frost.
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford.
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter.
Aye. Mr. Chair, for the record, we're losing audio online right now.
Can you hear us now?
There
Yes.
you go.
Okay.
Perfect. We were on Committee Member Stefan.
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes.
Aye.
And Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Open the floor now for discussion and a motion regarding the amount of ineligibility in this case. So the moral fitness violation is alleged misconduct. So we are looking at a 3 to 10 year recommendation of ineligibility.
Mike Hartford for the record. I recommend 10 years, the maximum ineligibility due to the multiple convictions, the drug use, and the behavior cited in aggravating factors.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter for the record, I would second that.
Give it to Nick.
Any further discussion? So there's a motion on the floor to recommend the maximum ineligibility period, in this case of 10 years, based on repeated behavior and drug use. Hearing no further discussion.
All right, voting on a motion for a 10-year ineligibility period. Chair English.
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron.
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich.
Aye.
Committee Member Boren.
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden.
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco.
Aye.
Committee Member Frost.
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford.
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter.
Aye.
Committee Member Mays.
I know we're at me. Aye, but I can't hear you anymore.
Sorry, Committee Member Mays, I didn't get your answer. And Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Chair, I think we're going to try Mr. Rustine again. Is that correct, Chris?
1 second.
1 second.
Two meeting options and I sent him the wrong one. My apologies.
Oh. Do we want to wait or move on to the next one?
He was hoping because he does them online, he just asked if we can take 1 more minute to
Okay.
see. Not, we'll go on to the next one. And Juan, just confirming you don't see him on the list, correct?
There he is, right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rustine, are you able to hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will move on to the case of Marcus Rustine. Mr. Rustine, in a minute, you will be given 5 minutes if you choose to use to present mitigating information to the committee. There will be no questions and answers afterwards. And I'll turn the case over to Jennifer Lavario for presentation, please.
Thank you, Chair English. Jennifer Lavario for the record. The next case is that of Marcus Rustine. The department opened a professional standards review after Marcus Rustine was terminated from the Kaiser Police Department on October 23rd of 2018. A Kaiser Police Department internal investigation sustained findings that he was dishonest with his field training officer. At the time of his termination, Mr. Rustine had not yet been certified. Because Mr. Rustine was no longer employed and not certified, the case review was deferred until which time as he was reemployed in a certifiable public law enforcement position in the state of Oregon. This is per administrative rule. On March 9th of 2023, Mr. Rustine was hired by the Yamhill County Sheriff's Office. Mr. Rustine's rehire provided the department with the jurisdiction to fully review his original termination for any moral fitness violations. The department determined Mr. Rustine did violate the board's moral fitness standards and prepared a case for the Corrections Policy Committee to review at the May 9th, 2023 meeting. The Corrections Policy Committee affirmed the department's recommendation and recommended that the board deny Mr. Rustine's certifications for a lifetime. At the board meeting on July 27 of 2023, the Kaiser Police Chief, a board member, recommended returning the case to the Corrections Policy Committee for reconsideration of the ineligibility time because he wanted to provide additional mitigation not considered during the committee's deliberations. The board approved this recommendation and the case was returned to the department. The department received the additional mitigation and prepared the report for the next Corrections Policy Committee to be held on August 13th of 2023. Before the meeting date, Mr. Rustine resigned from the Yamhill County Sheriff's Office rendering his case review non-jurisdictional once again. On November 24th of 2024, Mr. Ristine was rehired by the Yamhill County Sheriff's Office as a corrections deputy. As a result, the case was once again jurisdictional and is before the committee today with the original moral fitness violation recommendations as follows. Mr. Ristine admitted, this is in the dishonesty moral fitness category, Mr. Ristine admitted he intentionally lied to his field training officer about his actions during a traffic stop, which were against the field training officer's directive. Mr. Ristine, are you prepared to provide your mitigation statement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can begin.
Thank you guys for taking the time to hear me out. So the incident during the Kaiser PD, I take full accountability. I believe I let the pressure of FTAP get to me, and I responded not in character. Since then, I have been able to work in different professional standards, gain the trust of my supervisors, and show them that I am not what is on paper and what happened at Kaiser PD. Integrity is huge in me. I know integrity is huge in law enforcement. And I believe that the people that have got to know me know my type of character. And so I'm asking in front of you guys to allow me to have a second chance in my career passion. It happened about 6 years ago, and I'm still trying to pursue this. I'm very passionate. I want to help the community. And I believe what you guys have read is not the true character of me. So thank you guys for taking the time.
Thank you. So before I say that, I would just remind the committee, some of you were on the committee when we first heard this case, and then this case is one of those that is being addressed legislatively right now because there was a loophole, and so that's why it's taken so long to get back to us, because you have to be under the jurisdiction of DPSST, as Jennifer explained. And so this is not, anyone's fault except the loophole. We saw another case like this last year, I believe, or the year before. So I would ask the committee if we have consensus to adopt the record to move forward with this case.
Yes.
All right, seeing consensus, I would open the case up for discussion. Please remember to state your name for the record, and this is a time to identify any aggravating or mitigating factors.
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter, mitigating factor, the report submitted by Chief John Teague, his mitigating factors that he proposes, especially looking at the difference between agency trust and an ethical violation on what Mr. Ristine had done. I think it was a very moving report and a significant analysis that John Teague submitted as to the difference of the two. So I believe that to be a mitigating factor. I will also share that I think another mitigating factor is Sheriff Sam Elliott being in the room with this committee in support of this.
Thank you. Other aggravating and mitigating?
Mark Bowden, for the record, I'm not sure. Would a mitigating factor be the fact that he wasn't certified yet?
We can put it on the record.
I'm just curious because he hadn't gone through the academy. He was not DPSS certified at that time that this incident occurred. So I think that's in his favor.
Mr. Chair, Aaron Rice for the record. Mitigating factor would be his accountability for his behavior and actions of the incident. And currently now and at the time of the investigative interview.
Any other aggravating or mitigating?
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter for the record. I would just kind of amend and add on to Aaron's statement that if you look at the totality of the report, Mr. Ristine, if we're looking at the video as the evidence or the evidentiary value of that would have revealed the lie, that video was never actually viewed and his field training officer moved on from that. So Mr. Ristine on his own volition sort of confronted that situation, provided that information, and came clean about the situation without that video evidence, which I think is a significant factor.
Mike Hartford for the record. I'm just seeking clarification. He did not receive a Brady designation as a result of this, is that correct? That's what I'm reading here.
That's my understanding.
Jennifer Lamar, for the record, I do not have evidence of that.
So,
Nick Hunter for the records. The initial statement was made to the Marion County District Attorney's Office. No follow-up information was ever sent, so no Brady investigation was ever conducted, resulting in no Brady designation being possible without the investigation.
thank you, Mike Hartford for the record. Whether oversight or whether purposeful, he did not receive mitigating factors. He did not receive Brady designation for this.
Jennifer, would you go over what the committee has identified thus far, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Jennifer Lavario for the record. I only have mitigating statements that the report provided by Chief Teague talked about the difference between agency trust versus an ethical violation, which the committee found mitigating. The fact that Sheriff Sam Elliott is here to support Mr. Ristine is mitigating. The fact that he was not certified at the time, the accountability that Mr. Ristine took for the conduct now and at the time of the investigative interview. When you look at the totality of the report, it appears as though the field training officer moved on from the video, and Mr. Ristine came clean without the video evidence, if I'm characterizing that properly. And there is no Brady designation.
Thank you. Is there consensus around all of those?
Yes.
Okay, seeing head nods and yeses. I would open the floor for discussion on the moral fitness violations and entertain a motion whether the committee whether the committee affirm, modify, or negate the allegations as presented. And that allegation would be dishonesty.
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter for the record. I would make a motion that we affirm and accept the record as presented.
Thank you.
Josh Alders for the record, I'd second that.
Thank you. There is a motion and a second to affirm the moral fitness violation of dishonesty as identified by staff. Is there any further discussion on that?
We are voting on a motion to affirm the moral fitness violations as presented. Chair English?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron?
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich?
Aye.
Committee Member Boren?
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden?
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco?
Aye.
Committee Member Frost?
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford?
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter?
Aye.
Committee Member Mays?
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan?
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes?
Aye.
And Committee Member Tabor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. The floor is open now for a motion to recommend to the board whether they take action or no action in this case.
Brian Steffen, for the record, I recommend to the board, or that we recommend to the board to take no action based on all of the mitigating factors.
Mr. Chair, I've got a quick question, just for clarification. So since an action was already taken by the board, do we need to take an action to reverse or change that action that's already there, as opposed to if we take no action, is it a moot point and the existing action lives on?
Yeah, Matt English, the only action by the board, the actual board in this case, was to push it back to this committee. And then there was a pause because Mr. Rustine was not employed for a period of time, so there was no jurisdiction. So we're basically acting on the board's wishes that we relook at this case.
In that case, then I would second board member Steffen and what the action to take no action. Sorry, that's not an action to take no action. That we take no action.
Thank you. So there's a motion and a second. We recommend to the board to take no action in this case. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, Erica.
All right, we are voting on a motion to take no action. Chair English?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron?
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich?
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne?
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden?
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco?
Aye.
Committee Member Frost?
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford?
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter?
Aye.
Committee Member Mays?
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan?
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes?
Aye.
And Committee Member Tabor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rustine, for being here. Sure.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we will move on to Matthew Patton, presented by Jennifer Lavario.
Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Chair, sorry, Mr. Chair, for the record, I'm not sure, and maybe Deputy Director McAlpine can clarify on this one. I think I need to voice that I have a potential conflict of interest on this one. He was formerly a member of the Marion County Sheriff's Office, which led to the initial action taken against him. However, I was not part of that action or was unfamiliar with this case really until the time that I saw it.
Kathy McAlpine, for the record, duly noted, and I think you are clear to go ahead and participate in the discussion and voting. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Director.
Thank you. Jennifer Lavario, for the record. Case before you is that of Matthew Patton. The department opened a professional standards review after receiving information that Matthew Patton was arrested for driving under the influence of intoxicants on September 29th of 2023 in Malheur County. Mr. Patton entered a plea of guilty on February 7 of 2024 and was convicted. This is Mr. Patton's second arrest for DUI. In 2019, he was cited for DUI and completed a diversion program, and the charge was dismissed in 2021. Mr. Patton was terminated at that time from the Marion County Sheriff's Office for failure to comply with the terms of a last chance agreement for failing to comply with the terms of this diversion. The Marion County Sheriff's Office found that Mr. Patton had been and admitted to being intoxicated several times while on diversion. In September of 2021, the Corrections Policy Committee affirmed a recommendation by the department to administratively close that case. Mr. Patton is not and was not employed at the time of this second DUI conviction. The department's review determined that Mr. Patton violated the board's moral fitness standards as follows. Misconduct. Mr. Patton violated criminal law when he entered a plea of guilty and was convicted of DUI on February 7, 2024. Mr. Patton threatened harm to persons and property when he drove his vehicle under the influence of alcohol, significantly over the legal limit on September 29th of 2023. Chair English?
Thank you. Does the committee have enough information to move forward with this case?
Yes.
All right, any objections? All right, hearing none, I would say there's consensus to move forward and adopt the record. So I'd open the case up for discussion to identify any aggravating or mitigating factors in this case. Matt English for the record, aggravating. Mr. Patton has now been arrested for 2 DUIs, and I think the admission at the time of his termination from Marion County also indicates that there's an issue with alcohol, and his continued behavior is not aligned with the Criminal Justice Code of Ethics. Sorry, that was a lot of words, Jennifer.
Brian Steffen for the record. He had said he'd had 1 drink in Sisters in Ontario. He tested 0.14 BAC. So aggravating, sorry.
Mario Bowden for the record. Aggravating, he also had 2 unopened alcohol containers in his vehicle, along with a firearm and an additional magazine loaded.
Other aggravating or mitigating? Jennifer, would you recall all the factors identified, please?
Thank you, Chair. Jennifer Lavario for the record. For aggravating, I have that he had 2 DUIs, and his admission at his termination from the Marion County Sheriff's Office indicates that he does have an issue with alcohol, and this pattern of behavior is not aligned with the Criminal Justice Code of Ethics. He said in his during his arrest that he had 1 drink, but he tested 0.14 blood alcohol content. He also had 2 unopened alcohol containers in his vehicle, as well as a loaded firearm and a magazine.
Thank you. Is there consensus about those factors identified? Okay, seeing consensus. Open the floor for discussion and a motion whether we vote to affirm, modify, or negate the moral fitness violation in this case, which would be misconduct.
Mr. Chair, Nick Carter for the record. I would make a motion that we accept the record as written.
Jennifer Cameron, I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There's a motion on the floor to affirm the moral fitness violation of misconduct as presented.
All right, we are voting on a motion to affirm the moral fitness violations as presented. Chair English,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron,
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich,
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne,
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden,
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco,
Aye.
Committee Member Frost,
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford,
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member May,
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Floor is open for a motion to recommend to the board to take action or no action in this case.
Margo Bowden for the record. I say that we take action.
Thank you.
Jennifer Cameron, I second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second to recommend to the board to take action in this case. Any further discussion on the motion? Call for the vote.
We are voting on a motion to take action. Chair English,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron,
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich,
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne,
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden,
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco,
Aye.
Committee Member Frost,
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford,
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I've lost the sound, but aye.
Committee Member Mays, can you say your vote again?
He said aye. He said aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you.
Committee Member Stefan,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Floor is open now for discussion and a motion regarding the recommended ineligibility period in this case, and because we're dealing with misconduct, it can be a range of 3 to 10 years.
Josh Eldridge for the record. I would move for the maximum 10-year ineligibility period based on the aggravating circumstances of the multiple offenses and the continued unwillingness to agree to things like the last chance agreement.
Thank you. So motion on the floor for a 10-year ineligibility period recommendation.
Mr. Chair, Aaron Reyes, I second.
Thank you. So motion and a second for 10-year ineligibility. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote, please.
We are voting on a motion for 10-year ineligibility period. Chair English,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron,
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich,
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne,
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden,
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco,
Aye.
Committee Member Frost,
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford,
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Mays,
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. We'll move on to Shelley Talagani.
That sounds right to me.
All right.
Thank you, Chair. Jennifer Lavario for the record. Just want to double check that Ms. Talagani is not online. No. Okay. Thank you, Lana. Jennifer Lavario for the record. This case is involving Shelley Talagani. The department opened a professional standards review after receiving information that Ms. Talagani was terminated from the Oregon Department of Corrections to Rivers Correctional Institution on July 26th of 2022 after an internal investigation determined she was not in compliance with employee leave, and sustained violations for being untruthful and failing to report a romantic relationship with an adult in custody / probationer. Ms. Talagani also was found to have ties with local criminals and drug dealers while being engaged herself in similar illicit behavior. The department's review determined that Ms. Talagani violated the board's moral fitness standards as follows. Dishonesty. Ms. Talagani was intentionally dishonest when she lied to law enforcement when asked for the name of her roommate during a criminal investigation. Talagani provided a false name to law enforcement and misleading information about the relationship between herself and her roommate. Ms. Talagani was intentionally dishonest when she admitted to tell her employer that she had been involved in an intimate relationship with an AIC, adult in custody probationer, which is a DOC policy requirement. Ms. Talagani was intentionally dishonest when she attempted to deceive her employer about the identity of her intimate partner by using an alias when referring to her at work. Ms. Talagani, in her own words, said she knew that exposing this relationship to her employer could result in a detriment to her job. Misuse of authority. Ms. Talagani intentionally misused her authority as a corrections officer to engage in an intimate relationship with an adult in custody / probationer. As a corrections officer, Ms. Talagani had access to and authority to intervene in the supervision of and liberties inherent in the AIC probationer's legal status. Misconduct. Ms. Talagani engaged in misconduct by harming the safety, security, and integrity of the Department of Corrections and the corrections profession when she violated the professional boundaries of her relationship with the adult in custody / probationer, lied to investigators, deceived her agency, and utilized her position as a corrections officer to benefit herself without regard for the Criminal Justice Code of Ethics or the board-established standards for public safety professionals. Chair English.
Thank you. Does the committee feel like?
Before we start,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, Madam Deputy Director, Aaron Reyes, for the record, I just want to mention a potential conflict is at the time, and currently now to the end of the month, I am the superintendent of Two Rivers Correctional Institution. I mentioned in the report, I brought forth some of the allegations, and I made all final personnel decisions on the employment and corrective action on our officer that we're hearing.
Thank you.
So noted. Thank you, ma'am.
So does the committee feel like we have enough information to move on this case and adopt the record? Seeing consensus, no objections. I would open the case up for discussion and identifying aggravating and mitigating factors.
Jennifer Cameron for the record. I don't know where to begin on the aggravating factors in this case, but this is a demonstration of everything that public safety officers should not be. From her dishonesty, ongoing behavior of dishonesty, the contact with criminal element, misuse of authority, misconduct, PREA. I don't even know where to begin. But it's all, yes. Everything's written in the staff report, and yes, that's all I have to say.
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter for the record. First of all, I'd like to welcome Director Castle in the room. I saw him slide in there. Secondly, aggravating factor, and I would really highlight what was just said, but intentional deception on multiple occasions. Intentional deception with the employer, intentional deception with, I believe it was the Hermiston Police Department, but law enforcement, I think is a significant factor in this.
Matt English for the record. Aggravating. I have been on this committee for almost 9 years, and this is one of the most egregious cases of misconduct and dishonesty that I have ever seen. From the continued dishonesty to the association with drug users, to the drug use, to, the firearms, the list goes on as the vice chair stated. So there's just so much to unravel here, but it's just one thing after another. And I frankly was troubled by the fact that this individual was in a criminal justice position in the first place.
Mr. Chair, Nick Hunter for the record. I think we can probably not all be experts in the room, but say this borders on significant sociopathic tendencies, right down to manipulation of the employer when she was trying to look for information and how she was going about trying to look for that information. I think it goes beyond the deception to the manipulation.
Any other aggravating or mitigating? Jennifer, if you would recall what the committee has identified thus far, please.
Thank you, Chair. Jennifer Lavario for the record. In a nutshell, the evidence presented in the staff report demonstrates all that a law enforcement officer should not be, including things like dishonesty, use of drugs, PREA, intentional deception on multiple occasions, using drugs, being in a, associating with the criminal element, et cetera, and then the level of manipulation that was used. And if I can say, rather than sociopathic, I'm usually socially abhorrent behavior as a way of kind of identifying what was said, if that's okay with the committee. But other than that, that's what I have.
Thank you. Is there a consensus about everything that's been identified?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So the floor is open for discussion and a motion to affirm, modify, or negate the moral fitness violations identified by staff in this case, which would be all of them: dishonesty, misuse of authority, and misconduct.
Chair Nick Hunter, I make a motion that we affirm the record as submitted.
Mark Bowden for the record, I second it.
Thank you. Further discussion on the motion to affirm the staff report findings and moral fitness violations.
All right, voting on a motion to affirm the moral fitness violations as presented. Chair English?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron?
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich?
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne?
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden?
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco?
Aye.
Committee Member Frost?
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford?
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter?
Aye.
Committee Member Mays?
Aye.
Committee Member Steffen?
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes?
Aye.
And Committee Member Tabor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. The floor is now open to recommend to the board to take action or no action in this case.
Jennifer Cameron, I recommend that we take action.
Mark Warren, second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Recommend action to the board. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Erica, if you call roll, please.
We are voting on a motion to take action. Chair English?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron?
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich?
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne?
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden?
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco?
Aye.
Committee Member Frost? Committee Member
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford?
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter?
Aye.
Committee Member Mays?
Aye.
Committee Member Steffen?
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. The floor is now open for a motion to recommend to the board ineligibility period in this case, and because we're dealing with dishonesty, it can be 3 years to lifetime.
Jennifer Cameron, I recommend a lifetime revocation based on all the aggravating factors. This is the definition of a lifetime ban.
Thank you.
Brian Stefan, I second.
Me too.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second to recommend to the board a lifetime ineligibility period in this case. Is there further discussion? Thank you, Erica.
All right, we are voting on a motion for a lifetime ineligibility period. Chair English,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron,
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich,
Aye.
Committee Member Boren,
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden,
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco,
Aye.
Committee Member Frost,
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford,
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Mays, Committee Member Stefan,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, we will move on to agenda item number 9, presented by Julie Collinson, the approval for changes to the corrections career officer development self-study curriculum.
Yeah, good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. My name is Julie Collinson with DPSST. I'm seeking approval for the changes mentioned for the Corrections Career Officer Development Program, self-study program. Is there any questions that you have with the letter that I sent in late December, early January? And I would like to note that there are 2 hours, 2-hour reduction to the program, self-study program, and that's just because there was an orientation time as well as additional testing time that was no longer needed in the current programs because of the self-study nature.
Any discussion, questions?
Mike Hartford for the record. This is an online self-study program, correct? And the proposed change in the hours in the fitness and nutrition section was to go from 2 hours to 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the addition of the 4 hours of self-study for fitness and nutrition?
Yes, again, thank you for, Julie Collinson for the record. The additional 4 hours is to meet what we are currently doing in the current basic corrections local program. When the work group began meeting in May of 2023, they felt that this curriculum and content was necessary for the new officer, and so they created curriculum and content that some of which was repurposed from other content and other parts of the curriculum, and then this is additional materials to support the health and resiliency of those officers in the correctional environment.
I was just wondering if it was like journaling or like a self exercise program, or if it's just academic content.
It's academic content, yes.
Any other questions? So we're looking for a motion or consensus?
I believe it's a motion to approve to move to the board.
Okay. So I'd open the floor to make a motion to recommend to the board that they adopt the proposed changes as presented.
Josh Aldrich for the record, so moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Nick Hunter for the record, I'll second it.
Thank you. Motion and a second to recommend to the board to approve the proposed COD class for corrections self-study.
All right, we are voting on a motion to recommend the approval to the board for changes to the Corrections Career Officer Development Self-Study Curriculum. Chair English,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron,
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich,
Aye.
Committee Member Boren,
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden,
Aye.
Committee Member Frasco,
Aye.
Committee Member Frost,
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford,
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter,
Aye.
Committee Member Mays,
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan,
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes,
Aye.
and Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thanks. Thanks for your presentation, Julie, and your work on this. All right, I will turn it over to Jennifer Howell, who will talk about proposed rule changes to OAR 259-008-0085.
Thank you, Chair English, members of the committee, Jennifer Howell for the record. This is an administrative rule change that will codify your recommendation to the board to approve the changes to the Corrections Career Officer Development Self-Study. So upon the board's approval, the administrative rule change codifies the basis for the course and its implementation date. And so that is the rule change that is before you with the proposed language. And DPSST did not find a fiscal impact, either to DPSST or to the law enforcement agencies that employ the corrections officers. We're happy to answer any questions, but otherwise it's consensus for the fiscal impact or changes to the fiscal impact, and then the motion to the board to approve the rule change.
Thank you. Is there consensus on the fiscal impact as prepared by DPSST?
Yes.
Great. Then I would open the floor for a motion to recommend to the board to approve the filing for the proposed changes of the OAR.
Could you recommend? I'm sorry.
Matt English, I'll make a motion to recommend.
I'll second it.
All right, we are voting on a motion to recommend to the board the approval of the proposed rule changes for OAR 259-008-0085. Chair English?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cameron?
Aye.
Committee Member Aldrich?
Aye.
Committee Member Bourne?
Aye.
Committee Member Bowden?
Aye.
Committee Member Fasco?
Aye.
Committee Member Frost?
Aye.
Committee Member Hartford?
Aye.
Committee Member Hunter?
Aye.
Committee Member Mays?
Aye.
Committee Member Stefan?
Aye.
Committee Member Reyes?
Aye.
And Committee Member Tabor.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to number 11, agency updates, and we will start with a presentation to a departing member of our committee, Superintendent Reyes. I just wanted to say I've really appreciated working with you and wish you the best. I'm just glad that we could get you to come out of your shell finally.
It's taken some work.
Yes.
It takes a village.
Director Castle?
We have a little something for you, Superintendent. And I just want to say I really appreciate your participation. We've heard your voice. Your voice brings great value here. We're really going to miss you, having you here, and thanks for what you've done for the state as well.
Thank you.
So we have this certificate for you, and I also want to give you this coin.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Director.
And Chair, if I could just echo the same thing, the appreciation, because I'm going to just call out the board, CPC, and the ARC, and you never say no to us. And your dedication, commitment to always coming here in person, and your thoughtful responses is very much appreciated, and I wish you the best
Thank
in
you.
your
It's
next
been a
endeavors.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee, Phil Castle for the record. I appreciate the time to be in front of you today and be able to give you this update. So many things to talk about. I'll do my best to keep my update brief. And one of the things I have to talk about is sitting right there in front of you as the new Deputy Director of DPSST. Kathy yet again agreed to work with me. I am surprised. Bill Steele did an absolutely amazing job for us. He stepped in when we really, really needed him. And several weeks ago, he said, "Bill, it's time for me to retire." He's going off into the sunset, and he's going to do some great things for him and his family. And I wish him the best. And he was absolutely amazing and stepped in when we really needed him. So I definitely want to publicly thank Bill Steele for what he did for us, and then also thank Kathy for being willing to put up with me. I really appreciate it. And all of you know her. I don't have to tell you about Kathy and her leadership. You've been able to deal with her, so I'm
Our
grateful.
retirement is not anywhere in the near future.
Yeah. And I also wanted to thank you all. This is a big commitment. We produced those volumes to read through. This is also an awesome responsibility of some of the decisions that you have to make. And I want you to know how much I respect it, appreciate it. It's not always pleasant to do this, I understand. But I'm really grateful that you are doing it for us. So thank you very much. And I also want to thank the staff, because there is a whole lot of work that goes into this, and they also are exposed to the unpleasantness of some of these things, and I just really appreciate them for what they do and how professional they are when they put this all together. So thank you very much. DPSST has been very busy at the Capitol. We are in full swing in session now, and DPSST is mentioned in a lot of places, and there's been a lot of testimony that has rang our name. And I'm going to share a few of those with you. Fortunately, we have the expert in the room with Jennifer Howell, and she can answer real detailed questions about those, but I'm going to talk about high level some of the things that we've testified on this last week, and had some great help, including our own Sheriff Hunter. Thank you for the assist, Sheriff Hunter. Appreciate it during the testimony. We exchanged a text back and forth as he was desperately trying to help me when I was stumbling while testifying. So thanks, Sheriff Hunter. First, our legislative concepts that we presented, they had public hearings on them. The first was House Bill 2916, which was a technical fix to how we assign policy committee members for the fire policy. And then what has been talked about a couple of times in this meeting so far is House Bill 2926, which fixes the gap that we have for non-certified public safety officers. And as you all are aware, in this couple of cases ago, we just talked about how we lost jurisdiction over someone who is not yet certified. DPSST currently, by the statute, has no jurisdiction over someone who is not employed and not certified. And that, as of right now, we have one less case that is out there in sort of a purgatory of unable to be able to adjudicate a case. So we have about 158 cases out there that we are currently unable to adjudicate. This legislation that had its, was it on the 5th? I think it was on the 5th.
Public hearing last week.
Yeah, the public hearing. So it was heard on the 5th. We didn't hear a lot of concern out of that. But this legislation will allow us to close that gap. And it will also allow those folks who are in that purgatory to request that their case be heard as well. And it's a may, not must, for our purposes. So those happen. We also testified on February 6th on our projections, thanks to our Center for Policing Excellence, who did an absolute bang-up job on a survey, a statewide survey about our basic police projections. We were able to present that data in front of Ways and Means Public Safety, had a really good exchange with them on that. There's really not a lot, there's a lot of good data in there, but nothing that's going to shock you. Our contemporary volumes are still high, our turnover rate is still high. It is still very, very challenging, as you all well know, to find qualified candidates that can pass a background, can pass a psych eval, and frankly show up on the first day of work. We've seen about half of agencies, almost half of agencies have failed recruitments, something 5 years ago, which is absolutely unheard of. And about half again of those have more than one failed recruitment for the year, which is very, very, very concerning from a public safety standpoint. But fortunately, you know, we could point out, and I talked about this at committee hearing. We could throw our hands up in the air and say, hey, this is a national problem. Everybody's going through this. We're trying not to do that. We're trying to stay focused on how do we solve the problem. And again, we've relied on our Center for Policing Excellence to do another survey called Choosing to Serve. And that is a survey that we have petitioned both officers and leaders of officers and asked them questions like, why do you want to stay? Why would you leave? Why have you left? Etc. Trying to find out the top reasons and what is important to officers and what is important to leaders of those officers, and really comparing those things. So we're trying to get data that will help all of you in your strategies as you look at your retention and look at your hiring. So we're really trying to help solve the problem. We're also engaging at a national level doing this. And it is, like I said, it is a national problem. Our retention has gone from pre-pandemic around 10 to 15 years career of a law enforcement officer down to 5. And that's staggering. And that is a national average now, and that's been confirmed by IACP. IACP published that a little while ago. I think I briefed before here about our GRB, our governor's recommended budget, which came out really, really well. And in our committee meeting, while briefing this information, we were asked a question about how are we supporting our agencies out in Eastern Oregon, and how are we adapting to the sheer distance. And I know Superintendent Reyes can absolutely identify with this, being far east, and we are definitely very sympathetic to that. Salem is a long way to come for those folks to do any kind of training out here. And in the GRB, we have a learning management system, which we've been trying to get for a very, very long time. That learning management system is going to be a game changer. We're going to be able to do a lot. It's going to change the way we do everything. It's going to change the way we support all of you with your annual training requirements, and potentially into the future modifying how we do our basic trainings. So we're looking forward to exploring all of that. We'll be doing that, of course, in collaboration with all of you. We're not going to do that in the dark and make decisions on that. That'll be you and the board making those decisions. Our financial bill, again, going back to the GRB, House Bill 5032, is going to be heard on April 21st and 22nd. This will be my first time testifying about our financial bill. I'm told it's long and very in detail. Would love for you all to sort of watch that like Sheriff Hunter did. Thank you again. It might be a little dry, but as you all are very supportive of being here, we could sure use your support there as well. I also want to call out that Sheriff Elliott was in the room for a different purpose today, but he also testified on our behalf for House Bill 2926, again, to fix that jurisdictional issue. So it was great to have his support, and his testimony was a great example of how this gap has hurt us. So other than that, the Academy is doing very well. We're moving right along. We don't foresee a volume issue through 2027 that we can't handle. They'll be high, but from what we see, we believe that we'll be able to handle it as currently situated within our current budget. So the data suggests, as my CPE people will say to me, make sure you say the data suggests that, which is true. The data suggests that we'll be able to handle that. And I want to, before I turn this over to the Deputy Director, I want to open the floor for any questions that you might have of me. Hearing none?
No, sir.
Thank you again. Appreciate you being here, Deputy Director.
Thank you, Director. Captain McAlpine, for the record, I'll even be briefer in the sense that we have nothing hot on the press other than what the Director has talked about, which was many, but with our guiding principles of quality of service and safety, we're just working a lot on internal processes. Just want to call out Kathy Fink. She's working with the team to really peel back our processes and where we can do process improvements. As you've heard me say, we don't really have a record/case management system. We're looking at ways to improve that, and then hopefully the experience of the constituents will be improved or at least automated. So when I have concrete, be happy to share it with you. The other thing I was able to share with the board because of the House bill, and I don't have them memorized, I can't remember which one it is. It requires an annual reporting of the revocation of law enforcement to include economic sanctions. I shared with the board that report their last meeting, but it dawned on me, even though we're not mandated, I would imagine that the rest of the disciplines would like to kind of know in their industry what's happening, from the correction side, how many cases you see, what the statistical data is for how many are revocated. We look at, tenure of the employee, what types of things we're revoking. So my commitment to all of you is that I will do that report for corrections as well as telecom, because I think it all helps us tell that story when we go back to our home agencies. And then just always want to leave it open. You don't have to wait till surveys if you have some feedback, especially right after a committee meeting. Always happy to stick around and take that feedback. So with that, that's it, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions? Anything for the good of the order? All right. Our next meeting is scheduled for May 13th, 2025, 10 a.m.